right, all right, all right. What's going on, chat? How's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Swap on over. What's going on, chat? How's it going? Hope everyone's doing good. Airman Rager, what's going on? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's get all our audio set up and all that jazz. Yo, Rev coming in. Let me make sure this isn't too loud. Rev coming in with the 4 months on YouTube with the membership, with the Japanese emotes for K47. Love to hear it. And hey, we got Patrick on YouTube. What's going on, Patrick? Intro was very relaxing. Good, I'm glad to hear it. It's one of the classics we use in the battle reports from time to time. And Leslie Mitchell, what's going on? That's a cool profile pic, by the way. You shooting a bow? Are you shooting a longbow? Very cool. I got a couple longbows on my wall back there and a recurve. That's what it looks like, at least. Or is that a miniature? I can't tell if that's a person or a miniature. All right, we're gonna swap up the music real quick. Let's change it up. Little classic action here. So how's it going, chat? Hope everyone's doing well. We had Rev come in yesterday, and he was like, dude, let me turn this light off. He's like, there's some weird like contrast going on with the lighting right now. Japanese Yumi. Oh, okay, very cool. Yeah, they're they're like way longer than longbow. I think my longest longbow is like 72 inches, and I think the Yumis are, what, aren't they like, they're like way larger, right? Aren't they like, I don't know the size, but I feel like, aren't they like 100 or something inches? Or you might be measuring in non-American units as well, but either way, beautiful bows, very cool. What was I gonna say? Oh, Rev came in yesterday during my fishing stream, was like, did you hear the news? And I saw on Instagram, I saw what looked to be either jetpack, or not jetpack, but like jumping Slammer Samuels. So I was like, uh-oh, we got some new releases. And Rev alluded to potentially an invasion in the United States, which, you know, look, I don't want to call it. I don't know if they said this stuff early or what, but all I'm going to say is Japan invaded the United States a couple months ago. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. You know what I'm talking about? Actually, let's go to Warlord here. So I saw this right here, and I was like, ooh, baby. Very nice. So it looks like we got, I actually have the image. I could just pull it up, pull on. I saved the image. That's what I used for the thumbnail today. Just a screenshot, but it works, whatever. So we got like a Japanese samurai ghost dude teleporting out of the rift, it looks like, or maybe he's got some ability. He's definitely some sort of ghost commander or leader because he's surrounded by ghost warriors. And then I was like, dude, is that Slammers? Yes, sir. They upgraded. It's a new and this is definitely like, he just had a gun before, but this is like a whole thing built with like a shield. So they like reworked the whole Tesla cannon and everything. And they gave him a sick fist with like electricity and stuff coming off of it. So this stuff is, they really are doing some sick stuff here. So I'm hoping maybe we're going to get some new American models or minis, potentially. If not, at least Slammer Samuels, which I definitely am going to get. And then we have the new Japanese ghost character or something. So this is very cool. I'm very excited for it. We're going to take a look. 7 foot 9 inches, 237 centimeters. Yeah, so let's think. What's like 72 inches, like 6 foot, right? Or something around there. It's 12, 4, 36, 48, 60, 72. Yeah, 6 foot is like my biggest longbow. 5'11". Yeah. Okay. So substantially larger. Almost by 2 feet, as you can imagine. Let's take a look, though. I'm very excited to see what we got here. So, are these like completely new? I see ghost dudes with swords, samurai swords. They have spears. They look to have, I think these are these the Japanese? Yeah, these are the like submachine guns that you would use in like Call of Duty, I remember, as the Japanese. And these might be compression rifles, it looks like. Oh, I love the backpacks. They're in plastic. Oh, so these all are completely new. They're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I love the little plasma packs or whatever they have in the back, the rift packs. These are their SMGs with some blades. Bayonet. Are these compression rifles? They kind of look, I think they are. I'm not super... Rev is always using like regular Japanese infantry, so I always forget what the actual compression rifles look like. And then we got some guys with freaking samurai swords. This is sick. And like a lance. Dual blades, like daggers. Yeah. I like this a lot. And see, I feel like this is a fair price. $60, and you get all these Ghost Warriors. This is great. I love this. Because if this was Warhammer, you get these 5 for 60. Space Marine Assault Intercessors. They're in plastic and can make a new unit. Interesting. Oh, what do we got here? Hold on. Oh shit! Is that a 3D printed STL? What the hell is that? Or is that just a rendering of the miniature? No, it is. You do get the mini. So this is an American like power armor dude prototype. This looks sick. Oh, look at that art. Oh man, that's not cool. That is why you are supposed to be combat ready at all times, though, I will say. All the probably ghost melee unit. All the armor to just get cut in half by some 18-year-old with a bar. Yeah, but see, these guys are having a smoke, but you got to at least have the SMG ready when there's Ghost Warriors. Combat ready, you know? Yo, Tiki, what's going on, brother? Thank you for the gifted membership, my friend. So kind of you. How's it going? Yo, you excited, Tiki? Hell yeah, baby. Japanese players rejoice. So this is the new campaign book. We looked over the Festoon Europa book, and we haven't even been able to play it yet because we've been so busy. I'm finally caught up with most of my fly tying now, so we're about ready to film with the new with the Festoon Europa, and they already have on pre-order the Japanese one. Well, Rev, let me know what's going on. I have some money I can always throw in with you if you want. I'm assuming you're gonna get. If you want to get the bundle, I'll chip in so I can get Slammers and the prototype dude. And it looks like there's a bunch of Japanese stuff and really no American models, just Slammer and the special mini. Well, let's take a look at these guys right here. Oh, what's it? Look at this. This is great. Let's just take a look at this before we look at the bundle. So this is Komura Tadaki So let's see. Tadaki? Is that how you say it? See, I can say like Kaiichi Toshiya or Toshiya-san and like, you know, Scuba Raceway, and I used to love watching Japanese stuff, but when I like try to read Japanese names that I've never heard pronounced, it's like it sounds like I have brain injuries. But Komura, Scourge of the Spirit Realm. That kind of sounds like a Magic the Gathering card, doesn't it? So these guys are like... Oh, wait. Dude. Are these like freaking... Are these like the ghosts or something? Like... Because there's like a zombie unit, right? But there isn't like an actual... Is there a ghost unit? No, there's just a ghost squad, right? These guys look like... Almost like literal ghosts. I remember somebody mentioned the Terracotta army. And this is what... When I said, oh, wait... For a second, I thought these guys were like terracotta dudes held together with like dark rift energy, but they almost look like statues or something. Read the text. Okay, I like looking at it, you know what I mean? Taking a look. But we'll read it because it's, of course. And this dude's like a straight up samurai, which is just badass. I like the little accents. Maybe these are like rocks getting kicked up in the rift or something, or I don't know what that is. I kind of like trying to decrypt it just from looking at the miniature before reading, but we'll read it here. How's it going, Tiki? The ones with swords can spirit war into combat as long as you can see them. Oh, so they got the new rules? Okay, we'll take a look at the new rules then. Are they X1 Thompson? Anyone notice the basic infantry with Thompson X rift guns? Oh, wait, so the basic infantry are going to be able to get the Fireflies? What are the Firefly guns? Wait, what's the regular Firefly Thompsons called? Is there a number with the X, or... Where's my... Hold on. Thompson M1X1-2. So there, I guess in the book they have the oh, the rules aren't still out? Okay, gotcha. They have the both, they just classify the profile for the 1 and the 2. So maybe the Fireflies have the 2 and these guys have the MX or the X1s. But it shows that they're both the same in the book. So either way, it looks like regular American infantry can get access to the Thompsons that the Fireflies get, which is one of my favorite weapons in the game. Because, like, you know, the American... Like, honestly, I don't really care for the Tesla rifles. You give me Fireflies with those Thompson rifles and the E-slugs, plus 2 pen, point-blank range, and they can blow up a vehicle. I've done it before. All right. Until late 1946, Komura Tadaki has been a test pilot for the Imperial Japanese Army, specializing in armored walkers. He would have seemingly been killed when a prototype ghost engine exploded, engulfing him in rift energy. Oh, hell yeah. Rather than become just an unfortunate victim of phasing experimentation, Komura miraculously survived, but would become something far beyond human. You know what would be cool? Oh, wait, sorry, you guys aren't reading it. You know what would be cool? If I did like a short little video when we got the minis, and I just filmed what I thought would be the sequence of this description. Like a Japanese soldier in a mech, like, rah! Like something blows up, or like, and like a ghost engine explodes, and then next thing you know, there's like, he gets engulfed, and then like, you know, he gets thrown into shinobi space. Hell yeah, dude, that's sick. Far from human perception, infused with energies that resonated with the place in which he found himself, though he yearned for death. It would not come. I love it, dude. We have to, like, he's out there in shinobi space, like, fighting, like Onis and, like, Japanese spirits, like, giant demons and stuff, you know? Having seemingly developed an imperviousness to physical harm, he also found he had adapted the ability to partially manipulate the energies within him, such as project it with force and create and control energy constructs. Ah, okay, so he's an artificer from Magic the Gathering. I told you it was a fucking Magic the Gathering card, dude. It literally is like freaking Urza or something. He makes like 1/1 constructs. And he has, you know, you could just teleport or something. Over the first half of 1947, Komura would train with Iwo Jima-based philosopher scientists, and to gain the mastery of his new abilities, they also fashioned unique armor serving 2 roles: help him contain the rampant energy swirling within him, and as a morale-boosting reminder of a samurai traditions from the ghosts he serves beside. I kind of want to make a video about the lore of this dude, where it's like not like describing it, but like filming what happened in this description. You know what I mean? Just like a short little video or something. That'd be cool. Okay, that's pretty sick. They had me sold on Shinobi Space. Obviously, he's making spirits. They literally say constructs. Okay? He's a freaking artificer. Okay? And he's definitely blue. Even though he's red, he's 100%... it would be a CGB card. Alright? Now, this is what I'm interested in. Look, this is what I've learned. We got our new models with the release of the game. I get it. Right? They're like, here you go, you can get Roberta Wells. Which I haven't used the Firefly version yet. I'm excited. I do love Roberta Wells. It's like one of the strongest miniatures in the game, the original one. Being able to change a active Riptide to inactive. Whew, I love it. That being said, we got our second miniature. And it's Slammer Samuels. Round of applause. Also, round of applause. Whoa, what do we got going on here? Yo, Squig Herder, Sean. Thank you so much, dude. The 5 gifted memberships. First, I don't know why you guys... You don't gotta keep gifting memberships literally every stream. But thank you, dear. I really appreciate it. You guys are far too kind. I'm used to like a bunch of fly tying guys that are they're like, what the hell is what's a membership? But thank you so much, Sean. That is so kind of you, dude. Going out to Peter Strode, Fishbrat, Christian Kohan, Synthetic Unlimited, Curzon 72, and yeah, thank you again, Sean. Very, very kind of you, dude. What have you been up to other than being a featured Warlord community miniature painter, as usual? Okay, so rating on Slammer Samuels. I like it. I don't like his face. The other mini I have has a better face, I feel like. Is that one still here? Or can we just Google it? No, I'm not. I don't want your AI bullshit. Get out of here. Yeah. I mean, he's got a more expressive feature. Okay. You know what? It's pretty similar. It's actually, I think it's pretty good. It's a little... I feel like his nose changed quite a lot from the old... I like this face just a little bit more. That being said, I don't want to be too picky. Look at this. This is sick, dude. We got some Tesla energy blowing up off of his gauntlet. Which, by the way, don't be... I'm so excited for this new miniature. Oh, the new one can change U.S. Army dice to what you want. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Though I'm not a fan of overloading Tesla cannons because you can blow yourself up. That is really cool. That's good for like special infantry or something. Don't be surprised. Don't be confused. This guy looks like he could blow up a walker by himself. And only if you cheat and give yourself an automatic 6 pen, not a D6. Dude, ever since I learned how to actually, I'm supposed to use this guy, he has done literally nothing every single time. He couldn't kill Ursus infantry. I forgot. He died to everything that we tried to. He was dying to like the most basic shit. And I still take Slammer Samuels because he's badass. But I have to remember, like, do not charge. The only thing I can charge is like damage value 5 bozos with rifles. Okay? Otherwise, he's gonna die. He looks so cool that you're like, he's gonna go in there. Because I'm thinking like Space Marines. I'm thinking of Blood Angels captain who's gonna wipe out a 20-man guard squad by himself. You know what I mean? With a power fist and like popping off with abilities. No. It's Slammer Samuels. He like trips over a log, sprains his ankle, and then hits his head on a tank that he's trying to charge into, and he passes away. That's what happens. You know what I mean? Like every single time I use him. He's not very good. But God, he's cool. That's why I use him. I could read you the whole thing. I guess this might be some deeper stuff. All I know is he was like one of the first people that ever tried the Paragon. Yeah, he's the first Paragon, and he like survived. They probably other people tried that he died. He like survived the Paragon experiment, got turned into like a superhuman, and just kind of went nuts, going out and just murdering things. You know what I mean? I hope here. Yeah, see, he took out a German Tiger tank in Tunisia. I think he did that, and when he did that, he tore out like a serious muscle in his arm. So he's like way less stronger now or something. He put all his energy into that one Tiger tank. So I'm being so rough on him, but dude, I've just been let down by him so many times. You can ask Rev. I'm always like, man, that sucked. I thought he was gonna do something cool, and he always rolls +2 pen, and he gets one attack. He doesn't get multiple attacks. He gets one attack. I always roll a 1 or a 2 on his d6. Yeah, you can use luck, but you can't change the dice result. You can only add 1, and I don't think you can even re-roll that, if I'm not wrong. Maybe. So I usually add 1 to the result, which gets me like +3 pen, 1 attack, and it's not enough to like ever do anything, because I'm trying to like blow up a tank at 9 damage value 9 or something, you know. Need some bodyguards, yeah, and him not having bodyguards sucks. Why the hell does the Drugov jerk off? Pardon my language, but you know my opinion on that guy. Okay, I hope he stays in Siberia. Okay, no, he's coming back at some point. We have to feature him on the channel again. We pretty much banished him from the channel for like a good half a year because he was way too good, like literally just way too good. But why does that guy get 2 bears and Slammer doesn't get 2 Paragons? What's up with that? What's up with that, Warlord? Hook a brother up. Either way, I'm still gonna get the new Slammers because he's one of my favorite miniatures and one of my favorite, like, the lore behind him is so cool. So, sorry, I'm very passionate about Slammer Samuels. You know what I mean? I really want more of him. I wish he just did better. Why can't you do better, Slammers? Huh? You've been painting up Epic Revolution minis. Is that American Revolution? Or is it a game Revolution? I watched you shower the other day, Sean. You should get the mole checked out. Oh, you got... Yeah, you got his OnlyFans too? He is a lone wolf. Yeah. But if that's the case, then for the love of God, just give me... If he's going to attack with his Tesla gauntlet, just give me the +6 pen, dude, on it. You know what I mean? And maybe make it like he might take some damage or something. I don't know. Sucks. I hate it. I love him, but I hate his rules. And I hate his stats. Anyways... They knocked it out of the park with the Japanese stuff. They also did a great job with Slammers. They did a great job. Rev, if you're going to get this bundle, I don't know if you are. Let me know. If not, I'm sure we're going to get the book. If you want, I'll go in on it with you. But the main thing is we got to get Slammers for sure. So that is a cool mini as well, the prototype guy. But sheesh. And dude, I'm not going to lie. Chat, after the stream on Saturday, and I got done with a lot of flies. Dude came, picked up a bunch of flies early last week. So let me just give you an idea. You guys want to see something? These are 60 ballyhoo flies that I tied in literally probably under 24 hours. So these are going to Baja, Mexico. Someone's picking them up at 9 o'clock tonight, hopping on a plane in New York City, flying down to Baja, and bringing this as an emergency thing because they're going there to fish anyway. But so I tied like a couple hundred roosterfish flies, kinky mothers they're called, for these guys going down to Baja. Then I tied a personal order for some dude and his friends, which was like another 60-something flies. I tied those in like those 60-something flies in like a day or two, which is a lot. It's a lot of work. And then I tied 60 of these suckers in like less than 2 days, essentially. So I've done so, like literally for the past, that's why the video stuff slowed down. We got a new battle report. I was going to record the audio. It might come out tomorrow. Probably will, but we'll see. But I got to record the audio for it. But there was like landscapers and shit out earlier, so I couldn't. But I've been so freaking busy with what do you call it, with my fly tying, because there's a huge group of guys going down to Mexico, and yeah, there's a bunch of sure, the emu eggs. No, we want the emu eggs to come up from the border with a little peacock. But yeah, I've been so busy. But so I ended up, I got a nice little chunk of change after doing all this stuff. Still got to pay taxes on. But I was like, you know what? This would be just fantastic. This would be a great thing for me in general, because me and Rev, we have every army in the game, multiple armies of different armies. And I was like, well, it's $200, I don't have that sort of... And I was like, it would make a great video for the channel, too. It would just be cool to get one and open it up. And I looked, they were out of stock. So, unfortunately, once I actually did have enough money to responsibly buy one, they sold out. So, unfortunately, that's that. I guess I could, reach out to them and be like, hey, can you guys put one together for me and I could buy it, please, or something? But I don't even know if they know who I am, for all I know. So, either way, I've never contacted them before, other than to ask if I could buy Slammer Samuel's this one, and nobody ever responded to me. So, this is early on, though. Either ways, when am I supposed to get checked out? Mold or a mole? Both. You got a little black mold, I noticed while watching you shower on your OnlyFans, on the ceiling. But I think he's talking about the mole. Burner Rift Die to get +6 pen? That would be well, you have to use the Rift Die to use the Tesla Gauntlet ability. So, that would make sense. But, I mean, I guess they don't want to give you... I don't know. It'd be cool, though, right? Or something. I don't know. It just... I wonder how they play tested Slammer Samuels. How... And how much points is Slammer Samuels, dude? He's pretty pricey. You know what I mean? The one thing is, I could be unlucky, right? But even if you average him, what is it? It's +3 pen or something like that, I don't know, dude. It's... Maybe they play tested Slammers and he popped off every single time because they're like, oh, can I borrow your Soviet Warlord dice that always roll 6s Rev? That's how he passes all his hard to kills on his Ursus infantry. I figured that out a long ago. They definitely are rigged. So they probably borrow those Soviet dice, and then they roll their Tesla Gauntlet rolls because they know it's going to roll 6, and then boom, easy. You know what I mean? Those dice have slowed down a little bit, but there was a time where those freaking hard to kill rolls on those Ursus infantry where I was like, this is ridiculous. First off, we can't see those little Warlord dice on the video because everyone's old watching our videos like us. And second off, they're rigged. Okay? I don't know what you did to them. Yeah, 158 points for Slammers, yeah. So when you buy Slammers, this is what you're doing. You're paying for the cool. I'm telling you how I use them. The biggest asset is the guts and the luck. He has 3 guts. Right? And he has what? Is it 1 luck or 2 luck? I think it's 1 luck. I could be wrong. And he has Rift Mastery or whatever. So you're essentially buying him as... Essentially, you could do the same thing with just a cheap platoon commander and get 1 point of luck. So go into a melee fight, use your luck or something and win, or use the guts. So Slammers is really you got to use them for the luck and the guts, right? So the fact that really the benefit is you get the 3 guts, which that gives you the opportunity to, if you position them right, you can have 3 of your mechs go again or something like that. You know what I mean? Or you can have your Paragons, your Paragons are already doing it. So that's really and that's where you got to lean into this is why Paragons are so good and stuff, generating guts every turn and using it. This is where the Americans shine. You're not going to do a bunch of melee damage. The Americans don't have good melee, in my opinion. But what they have is they have fairly decent shooting. Not high pen shooting. They just have decent shooting. A couple pen here, couple pen there. HMGs, some Teslas. Yeah, he's also a commander, so you do get the 12-inch distance for the +4, which is really nice. But so the Americans like the Tesla gauntlet. So what you do is you get your guts, you get your luck, you have your platoon commanders, you have your paragons, your fireflies, you have some mechs. And you can have some cheaper units to score. But what you use, you strategically place your platoon commanders to allow your vehicles to go multiple times to shoot. So let's say there's an Ursus infantry squad. You got to target that Ursus infantry squad and take them out. So what you could do is you could pepper them first with a mech. You might not even kill them the first time. But let's say you get lucky and take out one, then you can use your guts, go again. Then at some point you can drop down with a firefly, you know what I mean, and shoot. So it's a lot of like utilizing guts and shooting multiple times per turns with like +2 or +3 pen weapons. The Teslas kind of suck for that, because the problem with the Teslas is you activate your rift die and then you're done. So that's where like the Thompson rifles are almost better than the Teslas, because even with the Tesla rifle you can have this is what's crazy to me, is the literal Tesla cannon on a freaking Sherman tank has the same pen as a freaking Thompson submachine gun within 6 inches. It is a slug, but so the Tesla weaponry is not really where it's at. It's the HMGs and the freaking Tesla guns, and you know, I mean, the Paragons do have some pretty good melee. It's just, I don't know. They don't really have like a crazy melee threat. You're really trying to tactically use guts and go multiple times per turn and shoot and be able to move out of the way after shooting and things like that. That's really where the Americans shine, in my opinion. At least how I play them. And I will go into melee, but I won't go into melee until I've shot the crap out of a unit. I won't charge a Moraz Ghoul squad when they're fresh. I'll get them down. I won't even get them. Let's say there's 8 Moraz Ghoul. I'll shoot them with 3 Paragon squads to get them down, and then use guts again. Keep shooting them until there's only like 2 Moraz Ghoul left. Then I'll charge with the Paragons, because I want to make sure A, I win, and B, you know, I only have 3 Paragons, so I got to make sure that they last. You know what I mean? Because I generally play them in. I play Paragons as, what's the name as the? Oh yeah, from Warhammer, MSUs, like multiple, like what does MSU stand for? Is it like multiple specialized units or something, or squad? I don't know. They're like little specialist squads that are all over the place that I can use to do stuff. You know what I mean? Well, everybody has combat blades. The combat blades are so cheap, everybody can have a combat blade, including the Tesla rifle. So I always go combat blades. I just don't run them in 6-mans. You're right. I haven't tried it. Maybe we should try that tomorrow or something. I haven't put together a list. Maybe I'll put together a list. What's the game that's coming out? It's the Axis versus Japanese. So yeah, I could play Americans. I'm down with Americans tomorrow. Maybe I'll try and run some 6-mans. Okay. Very cool. I think we saw everything. Oh, you guys want to see something? Check it out. Look what I got. Multiple small units. That's what it is. As per recommendations of Sean, Squig Herder Sean, the terrain piece is downstairs. Still haven't painted it. I gotta go to the hardware store and get some paint. But look what we got, baby. A crystal ball. Oh, we gotta try it, actually. Oh, you guys can't see it. There we go. So you can see it, like, lights up and shit. And it's battery powered. So we have a terrain piece that this sits in. Which this, if you haven't noticed, is the same sort of thing that goes right in here. So this is actually kind of like the same thing. So we have one of those now, and we have the terrain. We have like this like upper section we kind of have in like a terrain piece. So if we want to do this strum grease or whatever, we're gonna make one out of foam. So yeah, I finally got a little extra dough. I could rationalize buying a $15 child's toy that's gonna be used maybe once a month if we're lucky, you know what I mean? But yeah. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be cool. Oh, I think, technically I could plug it into a USB outlet, but I don't know if I have a USB outlet that is... Oh, I do. Let's see what it looks like. Hold on, wait. I can plug it in. I forgot it's battery powered or it's USB powered. I can actually plug it in. Hold on. A little behind the scenes. Watch it like electrocutes me live. That would be sick. It's on. We're going to turn it off. It smells like cheap Chinese plastic and chemicals. They gave me... Okay, so they gave me a 5-volt, 300 milliamp DC plug. Here's the plug. Okay, I was going to say it wasn't going in. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because it's like the housing is not the best quality. Okay. It's not going to explode, hopefully, right? Oh. Oh, we killed the camera. No. It took over the camera. It's like, nope, fuck you. All right, maybe we're not going to do that right now. Hold on, maybe. What if I switch to the other side? Is it also going to... Ah! Hell yeah. You know how excited Rev gets about putting little lights inside of the buildings? What are you going to think when this is sitting on the table the whole time? You're going to be creaming in your jeans. He loves these putting little lights everywhere and stuff. He's like, we need the lights. This is sick. Oh, dude, I just want to, like, play with this. Whoa. Get electrocuted and, like, die or something. That's pretty cool, actually. Look at that. Hold on, let me see if I can put some sound effects. Thank you. I perform every week on Saturday nights. God, I have a killer headache. I have a absolutely killer headache right now. I think it's because it's been some garbage za. Anyways, very cool. I'm excited for that. Very, very cool. It also runs on batteries because that's going to be essentially in an enclosure like a building. You know what I mean? Yo, what's going on, Damn Legion? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I will keep the box and everything in case it breaks on us. I mean, it's a $15 thing made in China, so... But just so it doesn't break on the first time, you know? Then I'll get a new one. Oh, dude, very cool. I'm excited for that. We have our own source of rift energy in the house. Very, very cool. Yeah, careful the rift. Well, look, I'm a rift master, okay? I understand rift mastery, and guess what? I do rift, bruh. I do rift. Okay? Should I show it to him? You guys want a little sneak peek at the new video? Let me take a screenshot. How about this? You guys hang out real quick. I'm not gonna open it up on stream, but I'll take a screenshot of what Rev put together. It looks sick. I haven't checked the fit on the terrain, no. But it should be right. I measured the diameter of this one Amazon product has the same measurement of diameter that you told me to get or something. Or you looked it up or whatever, one way or the other. But I'll check it though, I'll check it. We can always modify stuff too. Just hide this real quick, I guess. Oh, no. Disable that. Hold on, chat. I'm going to show you something real quick. You guys are going to like this. I had nothing to do with it. Rev did this all on his own. But it is pretty funny. Okay, now I can make sure I enable that video track so I don't screw it up. I got to finish that video later. And give me a sec. Here we go. Do you even riff, brah? I think you should have done brah. But I guess the bro is good. And he's doing like some gangster riff dice. Surging, all surging. But he's got freaking Drugov. And it says, do you even riff, bro? And on the back it says Mike rolls dice. So he put that together. If you guys would like something like that, we could work on it in the future. But I thought that was pretty funny, so. Do you even riff, brah? I thought that. He did a good job with it, right? He did a good job with it. It looks good. Did a good fucking job, man. All right, I think we're caught up on everything. My mic's a little loud, I feel like. Let me lower it. You need it? You can ask Rev. Or maybe we'll figure something out. I gotta find like where we could get some merch made and put a link or something, you know what I mean? I have some ideas for some shirts too. That would be fun, you know what I mean? As long as hopefully like Warlord won't get pissed off for using like an image of Drugov, but wait, do they have merchandise? Do they have like shirts and shit? I just realized I don't know if I've ever seen. I don't know if I've seen any like shirts or something from Warlord. Do they have? If I type like shirt, or is this gonna put on like the black shirts or whatever from the shirted woodland Indians in canoe? No, they don't have like any cool like merch to represent. Yo, they gotta get on that, bro. It's not on the community thing, right, or something? Like, you know how much crap some of our Warhammer friends have in terms of like t-shirt and statues and merches and all this stuff? You know, like our buddy Garrett, dude, he has so much stuff he buys. Like official, and our friend Fred, he buys official like Warhammer merch. He doesn't even play the game. I would love some official Warlord Games merchandise. Like Konflikt 47 on a t-shirt, like a nice t-shirt, you know what I mean? Or like on a sweater. That's not something I would really do. That's something I feel like Warlord should do. We'll make funny t-shirts or cool t-shirts, almost good as Bust the Rift. I know, we can't, you know, that's what do you call it? That's oh god. Cosmics. That's Cosmic saying, so we can't do that one. That's all him. But yeah, what? You know what? You know, but that's like another thing. They got to get a distributor or something. But I feel like, you know, dude, they're like a pretty big company. They should be able to handle that. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're leaving money on the table, dude. I would love like an official like Warlord sweater. You know what I mean? It says Konflikt 47. Has like a cool artwork on it, because they have some sick artwork, man. That would make great t-shirts. You know what I mean? They have some amazing artwork in their books that you only ever see when you look in the books. They're not like, you don't really see them anywhere else. Even when you search up images on YouTube, you don't see a bunch of like the sick artwork that's in the books and stuff like that. Or like some of the like cool mini photos and stuff. It's on their website, but when you look on Google Images, for instance, because I'll look for like thumbnails and stuff, I'll be like, where's some good artwork? I need some good artwork. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, like, I don't know if they have in their stores. Do they have merch or like shirts? I'm just trying to see. It doesn't look like it. You know, they are a small, you know, they aren't Games Workshop, right? So maybe they don't want to deal with the added like cost or something, or like dealing with the hassle of like essentially having like a merchandise company involved or something. I don't, you know. But I think they should do that. I mean, who here in chat, if they had official like Warlord Games, like a sweater, like Konflikt 47 with the logo and the dude with the jetpack jumping, would you buy it? let's say it was like even probably like what I think like something like, because let's be honest, nowadays freaking sweaters are somewhat costly and stuff like, so it'd probably be like I wouldn't be surprised, like a $35-$40 sweater probably at least, because they're like paying another company to make it and all that, and you want it to be a certain good quality. That's the hard thing about making merch. Like, you don't want to make shitty merch to where you wash it 3 times and the image fades. You want to make like something that's comfortable and it's a nice quality, but then it gets expensive. You know what I mean? You would, Patrick? Hell yeah, I totally would. I mean, I have, mind you, a lot of stuff is gifts, but I have a Blood Angels flag. I have some Blood Angels like artwork that my buddy got from GW. So I'm a fan of that sort of stuff. I like a cool hat. Let me get a cool beanie. Like, let me get a Konflikt 47 beanie, because you know me, I'm like wearing a beanie most of the winter and all that jazz. You know what I mean? I'm just looking to see if there's anything. All right, I think. 3D print files. Oh, that's that. That gives me hope. Maybe they'll do some sort of. They'll do some more 3D print files for stuff like this that they like terrain or like some sort of special thing. Though I'm gonna be honest with you, this is like ridiculous. I wonder if somebody actually printed this, and whether or not like it printed good. Because that's the other thing. It has to be, like, laid out in a certain way that it prints nicely. This looks like a project and a half, dude, to actually print. You know what I mean? And it looks like you want to resin print it, to be honest with you. With the detail on some of this stuff, but I don't know. I'm sure it was FDM printed. There's no way this was all resin printed, right? You see layer lines? I don't see layer lines. They could have just had it printed like really nicely. Usually what you'll see it on the detail on stuff like this. Like these lines with overhanging laps or gaps. This is where you'll see like the mess ups on like the FDM. This might be honestly 3D. This might be resin printed in pieces in a giant resin printer. I can't tell. They could have just primed it and sanded it really good or something, but that generally requires a lot more prep. That looks like, I don't know. It could be like a really, 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 really nice FDM printer. Because like revs, you would see imperfections around here. But I think he also needs to tweak his nozzle or something, because you get the like filament left over, like the filament hairs and stuff. I can't tell. I can't tell if that's FDM or resin printed. You think Ed's scarf printed one? Oh, okay. I saw Ed's been, his thumbnail's been looking good too. I saw some of his stuff, so I got to get in touch with him, see how he's been. I haven't talked to him. Now I have some more time. Maybe we'll try and do some Konflikt on Tabletop Simulator and make a video out of it. You know what I mean? That could be fun. Also, I wanted to look real quick. Oh, wait. I got to be careful, dude. Wait, I think I turned off, made sure there's no, like, hyper-sexualized video games. Right? Yeah, because there would be, like, titties everywhere on Steam, otherwise. Yeah. Dude, you gotta be careful, dude. Steam is wild. I don't know, at some point, I guess, because I was an adult, they were like, hey, here's a look at everything. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, oh my God. What the hell? Bolt action. Is there any word? Oh, dude, we got some more dev diary. Where were we on the dev diaries with the bolt action video game? Wait. January, February. They've been doing one every month. Frequently asked questions. Since we announced bolt action, this is, by the way, if you guys don't know, this is an official bolt action simulator. It's like essentially you can play the tabletop version of bolt action in video game form online via Steam, which is Warhammer would never even dare to make a legit Warhammer 40K 11th edition video game where you don't have to buy minis. You can just play the game and play your friends online. There's no way they would ever do that. But guess who did? This company and Warlord Games, which, round of applause right there, dude. Round of applause for freaking for Warlord for not being a bunch of money-hungry assholes. Because that's, like, yeah, of course, Warhammer has Dawn of War, but that's a RTS. That is not a literal one-to-one exact digital way to play physical Warhammer. That's what this game is. Will Konflikt 47 content be included? Konflikt 47 is a separate IP from Warlord Games, and there are currently no plans to include its units or content in bold. Wait, so are they not involved with Warlord at all, or is this a separate? I'm curious, actually. I got to look more into this. Either way, that's what they got mods for, chat. I guarantee you, if you know the bolt action community, guess what? I bet you a lot of people play bolt action also play Konflikt 47. You know what they're going to do? Just like they have there's literally mods for Konflikt 47 in Tabletop Simulator. So I guarantee you someone will mod. And if not, I'll freaking pay somebody to do some mods to make some Ursus infantry to do whatever so we can play Konflikt 47 digitally. You know, that's going to be sick. So that's what mods are for. Pre-measuring. So I think it's like literally essentially just going to be bolt action. Yep, turns work, multiplayer. The game will support both live and asynchronous multiplayer modes. Very nice. Yep, there's a lot of stuff to like asking about line of sight, how will turns work, terrain work. Will players be able to create their own battlefield? At launch, this will focus on carefully designed scenarios and maps, although scenario editing is not in the current plan. We'd love to explore more later on. Okay. Again, it could be mods maybe or something. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any cool shit. Which factions will be available at launch? Game will be featured a selected set of core US, UK, and German, but we're excited about expanding after release, such as Imperial, Japanese, and Soviets. Man, the Soviets and Japanese are always getting shanked or shafted, but they will be getting their armies. Can you kit bash? No. It's just pretty much like, here's bolt action, you can play it online. We expect most of the system to be faithful to tabletop system. We want to make a great video game, so we build and playtest changes that play better as a game. Biggest change we'll likely add is Fog of War, which is purely as a tabletop war game limitation. Bolt action feels more like a war game with this feature implemented. To be a new layer of depth to the gameplay. That would be sick. Have real Fog of War in your game. The new GIFs is YouTube's way to make money. Yeah, I don't understand the GIFs thing. I'm assuming that's like bits or something, right? It's like bits in Twitch, which I think actually in Twitch that's actually one of the best way to pay. But I bet you with the YouTube GIFs thing, it's probably like YouTube's making a substantial amount of money off you having to buy those GIFs, and the streamer probably doesn't get as much, I'm assuming. Like, even with when you super chat, like, YouTube takes a chunk, obviously. That's why a lot of people use, like, Patreon and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Instead of using memberships and vice versa. Okay. Plans for community involvement is important. We actively monitor and value feedback. Keep the hands, including beta tests, this and that. We'll keep sharing. I'm curious if they're open, like they're not going to be hostile against the modding community. I hope not, because that would kill the game otherwise. So this is interesting. Look, this is indirect fire. You can see a mortar team shooting right there. Better hide that from Coot Jenkins. Yeah. Order test. Look at this. This looks awesome, dude. You're gonna make your dice roll for the order test. Very cool. Oh, it's army building. Your platoon commanders, your squads, squad leaders. Yeah, you can have your armor platoon, artillery platoon, engineer platoon, rifle platoon. Oh my god, this is going to be sick. This is actually going to be a game I'm excited to play. This is going to be fun. We should definitely play. We're gonna play this live on stream, or at least maybe make some videos and stuff. Yeah, so they're gonna have engineering, artillery, heavy weapons, the recce, the armored platoons, rifle platoons. Sick. Yeah, so it's third edition. It's third edition bolt action is what it is. It's based off third edition too, which is great. U.S. lists have fire and maneuver, so that way the regular rifles get +1 shot. You know, if everybody shoots or something. Or you get, for every 3, you get an extra shot or whatever the hell it was, you know? Very cool. Oh, I'm excited for this, dude. I'm excited for it. Oh, that's going to be cool. I'm ready for that. I wanted to check on it. So I'm following. I'll make sure I got this wish list. So I'm waiting to see. We're definitely going to be making some videos on that, and I'm excited about it. Very cool. Okay, so chat. I'm going to probably take a break here just in a moment and just go grab a drink because we've been chatting here for a while. My mouth's getting dry. I'm running low on the old claw here. Now, in case you missed it, I've decided, if I'm already not busy enough and barely have enough time to do anything, I want to try and make my own miniatures game. A war game. Might be skirmish. I don't know. The idea is, it's a fishing war game. It can either be fisherman versus fisherman or man versus fish. You either try and catch the fish, and then the fish, once you land them, you fight. It's like, that's like, I don't know. There's going to be levels to it. I don't want to get too much into it because we're going to start talking about this here in a little bit after I take a quick break. But I have like a rough, we're checking out the Fallout video, the Fallout game on the last stream. And because Tiki the Hut was offering on like doing a trade or something. And what do you call it? We looked at that game, and that game looks ridiculously complicated. I'm sure we could figure it out, but it looked pretty freaking complicated, right? So we were like, man, screw that. And I was like, you know what? I want to make a fishing tabletop game, because if you don't know, I literally tie flies for a living, essentially. So I make fly fishing content, fly tying stuff on YouTube, and I've been tying commercially for like over 10, 12 years now of like full-time, you know, tying saltwater flies like this stuff, like I showed you for people that go saltwater fly fishing. So what do you call it? So I was like, that would, you know, that I've always wanted to do something where it's like a game, whether it's solo and you're like fishing and some, you know, it could just be like a fishing game or whatever. But I was like, man, we could do it to where it's like a war game. And what if the fish fight back, you know? And like, what if like the fishing, like trying to catch the fish is like part of the game, but also like when you actually get to them, you know, you can actually fight, you know? Yeah, in Soviet Russia, the flies tie you. Or you can say in Soviet Russia, like the salmon catch you. You know what I mean? The fish in Soviet Russia, fish catch you. Okay? So maybe the fish can try and... So that's... Okay, we're going to get into the mechanics. We sat down on stream last stream and we talked about it. We talked about it on last stream, and I wrote down a bunch of bullet points. Everyone in the chat was just giving ideas, and we wrote a bunch of stuff. From there, I only worked on it for a couple of days, but I just wrote down a bunch of stuff. I just put a bunch of crap out just to like get an idea, you know? And I have some stuff written down here. So we're going to take a look here in just a moment. I have it up on, on my notepad here in Windows, or in my OneNote. And we're going to see what I got and what I'm working with. So the idea is like to slowly maybe kind of just come up with an idea. Like what am I even trying to do? And then try and like develop a basic game and work on it from there. And then, you know, essentially just like try and make a cool, fun, free fishing miniatures game. And maybe, you know, we could even go as far, like if I ever did want to try and, because you have to do everything you can to make a little money nowadays, is like maybe I can get someone to make some cool STLs and we could sell them on my mini factory or something. But I'm not trying to essentially like make a ton of money or something. I just want to make a cool game. So if anything, like the rules will probably be free and everything. So I just want this to be there's nothing like this really in the miniature world, like a fishing miniature game where it involves like fish fighting the fishermen or something, you know? So anyways, that's the idea. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. And I would really appreciate it if you folks kind of help and, you know, if you guys have any ideas, because a lot of you folks probably have even more experience as tabletop wargamers or miniature wargamers than even I do. The channel's like, I forget how old the channel is. It's like, if I took a look, I forgot when the first upload was and whatnot. So we've only been playing miniature war games for about 3 or 4 years now. You know what I mean? If maybe not even that long. So I'm sure some of you folks here probably maybe been playing for 20 years or something. You might have a better understanding on how game mechanics tend to go and things. So either way, I think it's going to be fun. And I think this could be a fun thing to do during our streams. You know what I mean? So fourth dimensional beings could be fishing for humans. Yeah. Yeah, you could think about that like that too, right? Well, hey, somebody's getting probed. It's not me. But somebody's getting probed. Okay? We know it. There was that one guy. He's like, the aliens, they took me out and they had their way with me. You know that one guy? He went on Joe Rogan? Like, they were definitely women aliens, by the way. It was not gay. Okay? Like that guy. Oh, man. I could tell they were women aliens, too. You know what I mean? They were really into me. You know, that guy, like, that's not like word for word, but that's essentially what the guy was saying. It was just so hilarious. All right, we're going to take a quick... Oh, man. That just cracks me up. We're going to take a quick little break, and when I get back, we're going to go over, like, the notes and kind of what I wrote down, what I'm working with for my idea for, like, a fishing game. But if you guys have any cool ideas, that would be awesome. Futurama did an episode. I think I remember. Yeah. I mean, there's been, dude... Like, I will say, I truly believe there are 100% aliens. Now, do I believe whether or not aliens have visited man? You know, it's like it could be a drop in the pond, like whether that could ever even, you know, think how large like galaxies are and like solar systems, and there's vast space. But you know, it's like, I don't know. I probably would have said no, except I've told this. I don't think I know if I told you guys, but I was with Rev. You got to realize in high school, all we did was ride skateboards and recreationally indulge in the, I believe Black Sabbath called it Sweet Leaf. Okay? A lot of it. I remember, though, and just because I say that, don't think I was, like, tripping or something, you know what I mean? Just some Sweet Leaf, I love you, Sweet Leaf. Dude, I remember, I'll never forget. I don't know if Rev remembers this. I don't think he does, but I remember we were sitting at the Red Houses. Rev will know this. We were laying down on our backs at night, rolled up a fat blunt. Okay, and we're all sitting there. There's like 4 or 5 of us. And we're laying down there. I remember looking up at the stars. Okay, and it was like crystal clear. You could see all the stars and everything. I'm looking at some different constellations. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you know, and you'll see satellites, because this is back like what? This would have been 2005, 2006. So there were satellites. I remember seeing satellites back when I was in elementary school in the Boy Scouts, when you would actually start to see like a fair, you know, like they're like, look at that, it's going to pass by. This is the satellite. Then like 10 years later, you started seeing quite a lot of satellites, you know, at night. You know, you could just see, because it wouldn't be a blinking light or anything. It would just be a light just moving like that slowly, just, you know, what do you call it? Gravity moving around the planet like that, just slowly like that. But we're laying back, right, blazing up, and I see this, and I swear to God, I don't know if any, like maybe Eddie would remember, but I don't talk to him anymore, or maybe Dave, but probably they're all talking and stuff. But I remember once somebody else saw it, and I remember we all saw it. I pointed it out, but there's like a little light, and it's moving like this, and I'm like, dude, what is that? And this is before drones. This is before like DJIs and all that were readily available. And this is way too high up. This was like out of the atmosphere. This is not something that was in our atmosphere. And I see this like a light, and I'm like, dude, what is this? And it's not like a satellite that's just slowly moving across the sky like this, like you'll see. It's not a plane because it's not flashing, but it's a light, straight up light. It looks like a star essentially, but like a star way off in the distance, like a very, like, not super bright, you know, not super large, but it was like bright enough to be well defined. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this thing, and it starts doing the craziest movements, which, if you have a basic understanding of how like space ships work and like and like you understand that this can't be like, unless it's something that's maybe like some weird balloon that's floating off in the atmosphere that, and even though it's night, maybe because it was, I don't know what it could have been, that you could rationalize something in some reasonable way what this thing was, but it just looked like this light that was doing stuff that no man-made craft or anything could do, let alone up in space or something, or up at a high altitude in our atmosphere. And dude, it started like doing these crazy, like just moving in the most weird ways, like this, you know, looked like somebody doing something with a laser pointer almost. And then it would go and it would do this like, and it was just like doing these things that completely defied any sort of logical solution to what like some sort of man-made thing or like what it could be. And I remember it blew my mind that it had such an impact on me that still to this day I'm like, okay, I can't say without a definitive doubt that aliens haven't visited this planet. Because that could have easily just been like some hyper advanced man-made craft or something. Might have been a firefly. Listen, motherfucker, I spent my entire life out fishing in the woods, spending my time volunteering at wildlife refuges, okay? You can tell when that firefly would have had to literally, to be that size in perspective to the sky, would have had to been right in front of us and doing this and that. Look, we're smoking some Chiba, all right? There wasn't PCP in there. Oh my God, there is PCP. I meant to hit the laugh. All right? And this was years into our operations. This wasn't like the first couple times when I walked back with Victor and I stepped into a puddle, okay? Because I thought that puddle was like 6 foot deep. This was like, we were pretty veterans by then, you know? And if anyone's ever partaked, you know it's not like the movies where you're like, oh, you know what I mean? We could have smoked an ounce. A jump pack firefly. Well, now we're talking. I think it was a fucking, either some sort of thing we don't know about that could have been man-made, but I genuinely think that right there could have been, because there are documented stuff of like weird stuff that like, you know, and there, if you look at some of like the Tic Tac footage or whatever that was released by the Pentagon, there are some weird movements that's going on there. It's very reminiscent to what I saw that day. Now I remember talking to, I bet you Rev doesn't even probably remember it. Because I bet you all my buddies, they were probably blasted out of their mind, and they don't care about this stuff, you know what I mean? To me, that was like, that completely changed my perspective for my entire life on whether or not aliens could be real. That was, otherwise, I'm a very realistic person, right? You know, same thing with religion too. Like, yeah, of course I believe in God and this and that, but, you know, I'm also a realist, you know what I mean? And we could all have just evolved from primates. And when you die, nothing happens. You just turn into dirt. It doesn't mean I'm not religious and whatnot, too, and I don't believe in other things. But let's just be real. That's very well could be what it is, and we've created this. We could have created religion and the belief system and everything in our heads. You know what I mean? Just because of our brains, how we evolved. But yeah, like I don't know, dude. That completely changed my perspective on life. Like that day, seeing that, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think you could ever like. I know what I saw, and it's funny like hearing stuff like that too. But it's not like I saw an alien spaceship. I didn't see like aliens. I didn't see anything. But I saw just this light moving in a way that I literally will never be able to describe. You know what I mean? And I'm not. I like to think I'm like somewhat educated, fairly just in a broad spectrum in terms of like understanding how airplanes work and understanding how like you know. If there was, you know, they say swamp gas, or it could have been balloons, or whatever. You know, I like to think I think things logically and thoroughly, you know. But yeah, so that's my little alien story. There's nothing else, but other than just that one light that I saw that day, that even as a 16-year-old, I was like, yeah, I don't think that that's a man-made thing. Whatever it is. Whatever's out there, I don't think that that's a man-made thing. I don't know whether it's an alien or what, but I can't explain what that is. It's not a meteor. It's not a star, this and that. But anyways, that's my alien story. I didn't get probed, I wish. Because they definitely would have been female aliens, and they definitely would have been hot. Am I right? Just like that guy. I think they did a South Park episode on him, too, actually. The guy who was on Joe Rogan. All right, chat, we're going to take a quick break. I had to get my alien story out. because yeah, we were talking about aliens. I don't know why, but yeah. All right, we'll be back in a second, and we're just gonna go over the fishing game, and if you guys have any ideas, let me know. You know, the truth is out there, Mulder. Yep. Somebody get Bob Lazar on the phone. You know what I'm talking about? Yo, Jenny Brats, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. You know, one of these days, they keep releasing stuff too. Like, we will find out eventually, like, whether it's, they could have already released it. Like, and no, it's true, it happened. But like nowadays, I think. Oh, before I take a break, I just want to say this. Hear me out. I think you could actually, let's say they physically had proof. Hey, we think this is an alien spaceship that we recorded on camera, but it's like a blurry video, right? But the government comes in and says 100% we think this is aliens. We just can't necessarily prove it. Or let's say we can't show you the proof, but 100% this is real aliens. And we don't think they're trying to like create a diversion because of the files or whatever people always say. I guarantee you, like 60% of the public won't even care. Because like you'll scroll through it on TikTok, but then you'll go down to the video of the guy who gets hit with a bottle over his head right away. Like I think with like the way people consume like social media and all this stuff and how quickly things move, I think they could literally release actual footage of alien spaceships and confirm that it's aliens. And they're like, hey guys, we're not joking, this is 100% real. It'd be like news for a day. Half the people would maybe hear about it. The other people would just be scrolling TikTok and Instagram and YouTube shorts and not even paying attention to like real news or whatever, the real world. And then even then, I think it would just go by like that. And you get some people that would be like, oh my God. But I guarantee you they could like, even if like aliens came and like this and that, I think people wouldn't even care, which is the funny thing. Like if aliens showed up to the planet and they were broadcasting it on TV, there would be like a good chunk of people that literally do not give a shit, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But do you understand what I'm saying? I bet you there's like, that seems like very realistic that would probably be how it plays out in today's world, with how things play out in general today on the internet. So I don't know. I just always think that's interesting, but we'll find out, I guess, huh? It's the Go Alud. Some people don't believe that we just went back around the moon. Yeah, some people think the world is flat, dude, I'm not going to say, like, I truly believe in aliens. I just think that made me definitely suspicious, that light I saw that day. But the fact that we live in a day and age where, like, there's conspiracy theories that are so, like, or just, like, wacky ideas that people get so latched onto, it's like, I'm going to say it, and I'll say it again, like, I thought social media was going to destroy humanity, but now with AI involved too, it's like, we're done. Me and Rev, I was getting mad at Rev. We were talking about it the last time we recorded. He's like, it's a tool, and I just hate AI with a passion. They just recently were going to try and build a data center on Long Island, and the people were confronting the Brookhaven town. They're like, no, we weren't going to do that. And they're like, where are all these rumors coming from? If you don't know, these AI data centers, dude, they absolutely suck up all the power, all right? They fucking take all the water from the local water municipalities. It all gets polluted because it goes through their cooling system. There's there's a new video that was just put out by, I think, what is it, Veritum or something? Or it was like the NY Post or something, where they filmed data centers with thermal cameras and they went behind all the lies that these companies put out to try and prove that there's no low frequency hum that drives people, makes them have a hard time sleeping, and could potentially cause medical issues. There's like so many things that these AI data centers can cause harm to local communities. And just like all of this AI crap, my phone updated. They downloaded 10 AI updates on my Samsung phone. I'm like, dude, man, now my phone's slow as hell. I was like, get that crap out of here, dude. I hate it. Just with social media and AI, like, society's done, dude. We're done. Like, another 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. I watched this thing on music, and, like, all of the music industry is completely destroyed due to AI. Like, the fact that Suno, all these musicians are now saying, like, dude, look at this fantastic tool I can use. I went, la-da-da-da-da. The guy did that. Put it into Suno. It created an entire song of this girl going, La da 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 da. And he's like, "Oh shit, dude! Look at what I just came up with. That's sick shit." Shit. The whole room was going crazy. And I watched this guy who makes videos talking about AI and music. He's like, "You realize you don't own that song. The AI owns it. You didn't even come up with it. You gave it a partial idea, and it created it from a bunch of stolen music that it's been algorithm fed for the past however long that they made to make this AI model. You know what I mean?" So, anyways, that's my AI rant. That's my alien rant. Congratulations. It got me a brand new membership from Damn Legion. Down with the clankers. Kill the clankers. Woo! AI is a snake eating its own tail. Well, yeah, I mean, look, you got Sora. Look how much money they spent on Sora. They went out of business. They lost all their money. So I really hope that most of these companies do run themselves out of money and they do bankrupt themselves. The problem is Google's investing billions of dollars. All these companies are investing all this money, and it's causing actual physical harm to local communities here in the United States. What you guys really want to do? I think Charlie Moist Critical made a video on it. I don't know. I forget, it's Lake Tahoe. There's a town with 50,000 people. The local power company that feeds the entire town, I think it's Lake Tahoe. It's like 50,000 people. They're cutting the power to the town because the power provider says, "Hey, we don't have enough power. We have a new contract with an AI data center. We have to give them the power. You guys we don't have enough for everybody, and they're going to be paying more than you." So now they need to figure out how to get power over this mountain range into this town that's on this lake. Moist Critical made a video. You can watch it. It's the most ridiculous fucking thing. Like, can you imagine? We live on eastern Long Island, where we're literally blocked off from the rest of New York State. And on the western part of Long Island, where, let's say, we get our energy from, they're like, "Hey, by the way, we're building a huge AI farm data center on western Long Island. You guys take up all the energy out east. We don't want you guys to have any electricity because we want the AI data center to have it because they're going to pay more. So you guys need to figure out how to get energy in Suffolk County, Long Island, and you have a year to do it. Good luck." That's what they literally did. Can you imagine? How is that even legal? I don't even understand. I guess because maybe it's a private power company in that state. I know here in Long Island we have LIPA, which is a Long Island Power Association. Is that a private power company, or is that? I thought that was like I thought they're working with the state. But if it's a private power company, then maybe that's something they legally could do. They could say, "Hey, Eastern Long Island, you're not getting power anymore. We're going to give it to New Jersey," let's say, because they need it more. And then we just don't have power anymore. Are they allowed to do that? Like, holy shit. Anyways, you can tell I'm getting my feathers ruffled up. Thank you, by the way, Damned Legion. Me and you, we're going to be fighting the Terminators in the trenches with Sarah Connor. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Woo! I'm going to get another White Claw. I'll be back. What can I put on here? Oh yeah, I got my little slideshow. I'll be back in a second, chat, alright? It's been proven that humans are $10 cheaper to pay than AI. Yeah, but you gotta realize people think for themselves. So, like, do you want somebody that could, like, talk smack about your corporation and, like, And you gotta realize people also use resources. And, like, people have rights. So, like, come on, Jenny, what are we talking about? It's $10 cheaper. If we pay $10 more, then we don't need people. We can just have AI do everything for us. And it can't say no. It could work forever. And we don't need to think about morals or ethics or any responsibility of, trying to be a good boss or anything like that, or, whatever. We can just, take advantage of this technological advancement that'll probably lead to the downfall of our own business or be a financial waste in the long term. Anyways, we'll be back in a little bit. Enjoy the Resident Evil music and think about the future of downfall of society happening in the next 10 years due to AI. And I'll be back, chat. Woo! I feel better after my AI rant. I made a joke. Rev is probably generating an AI video of me doing backflips off a giraffe while I'm saying it, but all right. Let's turn down the Resident Evil music. Well, first off, chat, I hope you guys are having an awesome Saturday. Sorry, I got a little heated there. I'm very passionate about, what do you call it? Especially because AI is just so infused in everything with the content world. But anyways, enough of that. All right. The project is called, and this is solely credited to Jenny Bratz, is Tackling the Apocalypse. That's the name we're running with at the moment, because it's sick, which I really like. So, congrats. We had some people, someone said man vs. fish, which I do like. That's going to probably be like a game mode, man vs. fish. But Tackling the Apocalypse is just a beautiful name. Great play on words. So, good job with that, Jenny. All right. So, essentially the idea is we have a fishing tabletop miniature game in a post-apocalyptic setting. I just wrote down some basic stuff for myself. The fish have mutated from the irradiated lands. So, let's say nuclear fallout happens. Somebody hits the red button one way or another, right? And all the nukes launch, this and that. And maybe in like remote areas, like there's still nuclear fallout and radiation, or maybe the whole world, something happens, all the ice melts. We don't know. We haven't figured it out. But water levels rise dramatically, and you know, whatever land there is, it's like not necessarily safe or like habitable potentially. So like we get like a water world like scenario where there's like cities and towns and villages popping up on the water, or maybe in coastal areas on islands. And everybody relies on the water, right? They get everything from the water, whether it's, you know, fish, or whether it's plants, and they salvage. You can like salvage things like in Waterworld. That's the kind of the idea. Now, I'm not gonna lie, just describing all this sounds like a very what the hell is a Sahuagin? Sahuagin encounter? This almost wants to be like a table. This wants to be a TTRPG as well. It kind of feels like, but either way, that's like kind of the feel of it. And then we had a bunch of like just random stuff we wrote down. People were like, the final boss can be a megalodon. And what about? I wrote players controlling fish. Someone wrote merman, so we want some merman in there. I'm a merman, daddy. Merman. You can fight over spots. We just wrote all sorts of stuff. There's octopuses. That was Cosmic's contribution. So we just wrote down a whole bunch of different stuff, right? Now, so what I did is I took all of this stuff on the side. I wrote game modes. I started like trying to lay out what would a game be like. Oh, it's like a fish centaur. There you go. That does seem sick. I kind of like was figuring out like locations, right? Attacks, toughness, like what are the stats going to be in the game? Skills, like are there skills? And this is the stuff that doesn't necessarily, it's going to be in the game, but I'm just like brainstorming essentially, right? And we also figured out that there's the game warden, and the game warden is on the fish's side, and he comes, and if the game warden catches you fishing, then you're going to be in trouble. So game warden mechanics, fish factions, fisherman factions, AI factions, on the rod, tackle. We have conventional tackle from lowest all the way up to heaviest, fly fishing tackle. We have lures and flies and bait. So that's like the whole idea, right? Like I'm just writing down a bunch of different stuff that I could potentially use in a fishing game. Now the whole idea is what I have. Oh, dude, I would love for you to paint some minis for us for a video. This is my idea, okay? It's going to be a game where kind of just like I have a basic idea. So for instance, there's the game modes. Narrative. So solo, there'll be like a couple different versions, but narrative could be one of them, for instance, where it's like a mission or extraction based. So like you go in and you have a mission to do, and you enter the map, and that's your one. Your game you're playing is like 5 rounds, 4 rounds, and it's like you're going in, you're getting out. So there's like a before stage to your gameplay, and then there's an after stage, kind of like 5 parsecs. So maybe you'll go to a village and they're like, hey, we need you to go get us 5 red snapper, right? And or hey, can you go check out, there's a post office that's on this shallow plateau underwater. Can you try and fish up some debris from underneath? And but there's a bunch of enemies around, some dangerous fish or something. So like the idea is that like you can go out and do missions, and you'll come back, you'll progress with each mission, you'll get better gear and better boats and equipment, and you'll do that way. The other version for solo would be survival, where you start out with either random gear that you roll up or nothing, and you just try and live for as long as you can. Just randomly kind of, you go, you do a thing, you come back, but it's not like you're like getting it's not like it's just like you try and survive as long as you can. I don't know how it would work, but that's kind of one thing. Instead of game master, you could have someone do a game master, but this is kind of pulling from like the narrative thing where you're generating missions for solo. This is kind of pulling stuff from Rangers from Shadow Deep, 5 parsecs from home, where they have tables. You'll have like a couple tables where it'll be or you can use a mythics type system where you have keywords and you generate missions from like a table and stuff like that. Oh, the game warden. No, I don't know. That could be like a game master thing, but I think the game warden is a way for the fish near the end of the game to kind of really do something. That's kind of my idea, but we'll see. For PvP, player versus player, there can be fisherman versus fisherman, where it's literally there's 2 teams of fishermen, and you have to go out and try and catch as many fish. So it's like a fishing competition, but you also get to shoot each other and fight each other. So you can have like 3 boats, or you can have guys waiting in waders, and there could be you could deploy them. They're trying to get objectives and catch fish, but they also have weapons, and they can try and fight each other in melee or shoot each other or have boat combat. Like there's so many cool things you could do, right? Can be 1v1 or teams or free for all, where everybody has a fisherman, 1 fisherman, 4 people, and they're trying to catch fish, but they're also trying to sabotage each other's fishing by fighting each other or something. I don't know. Fisherman versus fish. This could be the main game mode as far as I'm concerned. This is like kind of what I'm more leaning to, where one person plays an army of fish and the other person plays an army of fishermen. But the fish are all mutated, so they all have legs and arms and guns, and maybe they've taken and salvaged stuff from underwater and have turned it. Maybe there could be like magic, or there could be nuclear weird things, and they've taken technology. I don't know. They could have like weapons, and they could have harpoon guns, and the fishermen can have a shotgun, So the idea is the fishermen have to either try and catch a bunch of fish, and the mutated fish try and stop them, and it's like fighting. Or the fishermen are trying to catch the mutated fish, and then when they get them into shore, or when they get them to the boat, that's when the real fighting begins. That's like when you can either shoot each other at closer distance or fight each other, charge or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how that works. Then there's also fish versus fish. Yeah, tridents. But who's to say the fish don't have like weapons, but they develop their own weapons? You know how think of this. Think of in Star Wars, the first episode or whatever, the one where they go to the Gungan planet. I don't know. I don't remember which one it was, whether it was the first or second one. And all the Jar Jar Binks dudes, but they have their own underwater weapons and guns and stuff. They could do something like that, where they have their own they're utilizing some sort of technology man hasn't figured out. Fish technology. You know what I mean? So I wrote out some things here, for instance. This is kind of what I'm thinking. I bet those harpoon guns could do damage to ships. Yeah. So, like, for instance, fish versus man. One player is the fish army. One player is the fisherman army. Or a fisherman. The fish hide their units. This is all stuff I wrote down, right? Just trying to figure. It was episode 2. Yeah, it wasn't the first one. For Star Wars. So the fish, like, hide their units, or they hide their objectives. Or the fish could be separate. It depends, right? The fish can try and attack the fisherman, but then risk being subjected to a bite roll to not eat the hook. So this was my idea first, is like you have your fish units that are actual like combat units, but they're hiding. The fishermen are trying to catch them. They're trying to catch these mutated fish. They want to eat them and sell them. So you don't want to, if this is what happens, even though you're a fish and you don't want to, you're trying to fight the humans, you still are a fish. So if they throw a lure in front of you, you have to try and, it's going to be some sort of roll, an opposed roll. So there's a casting mechanic potentially. The fisherman's going to try and trick your model as the fish into eating it. And so like opposed rolls for presentation and intelligence or something for the fish not to eat it. I don't know. I was just trying to figure out. There could be some sort of mechanic, right? Oh, hell yeah, dude. I would love to give you some flies for something like that, man. I painted up some tiki and he up and died. I'll definitely trade you some flies for some painted minis for sure, dude. You just tell me what sort of fish you might ever fish for in the future, and I'll tie you some flies for them for sure. But so like you try and catch the fish. Once hooked, then there could be like a fight, like the fight for like on the rod. You know what I mean? There's like a gear score, so the gear score of like the fish or the gear score of your tackle and your boat can help you in that. Now this might be overcomplicating things, but I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. This could be more on the solo side. I don't know. And then there's current and terrain. So like the current and the terrain, the fish, this is from fishing in real life. A striped bass will try and break you off on a bridge or a pylon. They're not dumb. They're smart. They know there's something in their mouth and they don't like it, and they're going to do whatever they can to get it out so they can go the way they want to and not have a line yanking on them. So they'll try and rub you off on pylons. They'll try and break you off on rocks. They'll try and snag you and do all these things, or they'll go down into the deep current to use the current to their advantage to try and fight harder. So these are all things the fish can do to try and get off the hook. And then once you land the mutated fish, that's when the real actual combat begins, like miniature versus miniature combat. Now, there could be, who's not to say that the fish can't damage the fishermen when they're not hooked. Maybe they from a distance can do things, but if they show themselves, then they are at a risk for being potentially hooked. And the idea is like if you do hook a fish and land it, it'll be weaker because it's all tired and stuff. So I don't know. But I still haven't figured that out. I just wrote down a bunch of ideas. That was really it. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking. Now you could easily take out the hooking them and stuff, and it could just be where you're a fisherman. The objective is to catch fish. They're just objectives. The mutated fish are trying to stop you, and then they fight. That could be a much simpler thing. And when it comes to trying to catch fish and land them, that could just be simple rolls the fisherman's making to try and complete tasks. And then the fish army could try and, the mutated fish can make their own rolls to try and sabotage things. That seems like a simpler, more streamlined thing for a PvP combat. This almost seems more like something that you would do in a TTRPG sort of thing. There's a lot of depth to it, but maybe not. Maybe it would be good. I don't know, because it's a fishing game. I got locations. I'm trying to think, where would I go fishing? Ponds, lakes, rivers, creeks, the bay, the oceans, flats, estuaries. We could do deep ocean. You could do wrecks. You know what I mean? So there's all sorts of different things you can do, right? Stats. So you need stats in a miniature war game. Movement. I think movement is on foot because there is an on foot mechanic. You could be in the water. There probably is land. We could have maps with land, but then there's also a boat speed. Now we could also just say no. It's all in boats or all in waders, which waders are what you wear. They're like neoprene or plastic things you wear to walk in the water and fish. And that's that. You can't get out of the boats. There's only either you're in a boat and that's your movement or whatever. So I don't know. I need to. You could do it multiple ways. Attacks, either a base number like fists or base for weapons. So what I was thinking is, if you don't have any weapons, your attack number is just your attack for melee and all that, and then weapons can have their own attack numbers tied to it, kind of like how. Like you get one, like if you make one attack in melee, it's just one in conflict. But if you have a weapon that allows you to get multiple attacks for guns, then you'll get 2 attacks with the Thompson, for instance. Or it could just be the attacks, the base number on your attack stat for your unit. That's what it gets, no matter what it uses. I don't know. But then that like changes things, could make things broken, right? For certain weapons. If base with fists, then weapons can have their own attack numbers. So it was just like I'm writing down ideas and thinking about how I would go about it. And I'm trying to draw from one-page rules, Konflikt, Warhammer, all these different games, Turnip, watching other games, or there's like Star Wars Legion, or there's this or that. There's so many cool games. So I don't know what's the best way of doing it. This is one thing I do want to point out. I'd like to keep it as simple as possible. So there's a lot of mechanics and things I'm probably going to cut out. This is going to be like a one-page rule situation where it's going to be like free rules. It's like on a page. You flip the page, like you can print everything. I want to keep it simple, or maybe just like a couple pages. I don't want it to turn into like I have to write a whole book, you know what I mean? Because if that's the case, and like you got to start doing all this stuff, like I want it to be cheap for me to do and try and make it free for everybody. We could always have maybe like advanced rules where you pay like, like $5 or something, you get it, like they do with one-page rules or something, but whatever. I want it to be simple and easy for people to get into is the idea. I'd love a crab appult unit for fish that launches like crabs onto boats. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Why does it do that? So annoying. I have to like click in the same exact spot, or do I gotta hit enter? Like, get out of here, bro. I just want to type now. Okay. I do have to click in the exact spot. Crab pult launches crabs or units onto fisherman boats, vessels. Yes, perfect. I like that idea. That's great. What else do we got? So toughness, right? I'm kind of thinking like, it's like toughness, kind of like or like damage value, right? What you need to see if the attack does enough damage. I don't necessarily. So here's the thing. You can keep it simple, right? I kind of like one-page rules where you make the attack. You don't have to make a damage roll. The person makes a save, and that's that. Attacker makes an attack. Defender makes a save roll. Because it really does suck when you hit with an attack, but the attack doesn't damage. At least with something like bolt action, it adds pins. There's like an effect to it. But now you're adding pins, which is a whole nother mechanic that people need to remember. Because in Warhammer, you hit, but you don't wound, and it doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be crab armies. For sure. I'll just tell you right now, this is what I have. I'll put down crab, but I mean, we literally have octopus everything, right? We have the Brotherhood of the Bass, the Guppies, the Salmonoids, the Sharks, Flatfish. And I'm just writing, like, I'm trying to think of, like, what are different types of, like, species of fish, or different, what I like to consider categories of fish as a fisherman. you know, you have like bass species, the salmons are like trout species, you have like sharks, right? You have like the flatfish like flounders, flukes, halibut. I'm just trying to think of that, or like cod, right? So yeah, crab, we could do anything, dude. For fisherman factions, the Bucket Brigade, aka the Weekend Warriors, we have the conservationists, where they care about fish species and conserving them, but they what do you call it? They also understand you need to, let's say there's too many of this one fish, you have to kill them because otherwise they're going to wipe out the others. So they're out there killing fish as conservationists or environmentalists. And then there's commercial fishermen, influencer fishermen. Now, I don't consider myself an influencer, but I do make content. But there's guys out there that are like, hey, what's up, dude? Welcome back. Sponsored by Nutter Butter Baits. And we're going to go out, we're going to rip some lips, and we're going to tickle some dicks or something, you know. I don't know, whatever these fishing YouTubers do. I mostly make fly fishing content and fly tying. But there are guys out there that have, like, giant fishing channels, and they're like, you know, they're like, let's go wiggle some sticks. They got their own catchphrases and, like, T-shirts. So those are the influence fishermen. And then we got guides, which are, like, professional people who take people fishing recreationally. And then we got maybe pirates? I don't know. You like the emotes? Hell yeah. We're going to be adding some more emotes here because I think people have been so generous with becoming members and also gifting memberships. I believe we've gotten to the point to where we can add new emotes. So what did we talk about? We added George recently. What was the next thing we were going to do? We were going to add something. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Or did I have it written on a piece of paper? Does someone remember what we were going? We had an idea for an emote that was absolutely perfect. Because there's always, what's something we always say or do on the channel? Little Peacock. It was Little Peacock. That's what it was. Yeah. I actually have an emote of me wearing a ski mask. I mean, I have an emote of the real Little Peacock who was banished to the Shadow Realm. It wasn't. He's my cousin from another universe. Not me in a ski mask. Of course not. On Twitch, which I'm going to add for you guys here on YouTube. Wounds. Fishermen probably have more wounds than fish. I don't know. I was trying to figure this out. And then I'm like, is there order tests? Or action tests? Like bolt action? I don't know. Is there actions? Can you take multiple actions? I kind of like the idea of having 2 actions where you can like move the boat and make a attempt to fish for the objective, or you can move the boat and harpoon a mutated fish, or move the boat at full speed and try and run over the mutated fish in shallow water and make a roll for a charge, for a boat shock. Yeah, boat shock. Woo! Boat shock. I know, you'd have to call it something else. I just wanted to say that because I think it's hilarious. We always used to tank shock or whatever. Rev would run his freaking Rogel Dorns into my Blood Angels. I'm like, bullshit. We'd have to come up with something cool, like ramming speed or something like that. You know what I mean? Spearfishing? So that's another thing. Do you have fisherman units that actually don a wetsuit and go underwater with a spear? Whoa! Yo, Rev. Coming in with the 5 gifted. Hey, Jenny Brats. Catching a stray. Hell yeah. We got Arcan, the Slayer. We got Mr. Guyper, Captain Permafrost, and Bad Rabbit. Thank you so much. I recognize a good amount of these names from like just the comments of our videos. Obviously, I recognize Jenny. But awesome. We love seeing some names we recognize, getting some members. But thank you, dude. First off, too kind. You don't have to do that, okay? And you shouldn't do that. But I've learned to stop arguing. But thank you. I do appreciate it. Thanks, dude. Yeah, get your, you got access to the emotes, so put some emotes in the chat, or get some 07s in the chat if you don't have them. All right. Now I have skills. I don't know. I don't know. This might be too much. Do we want? Wait, what was it called? Lux or something, or special? Do we want SAICL? Do we want See, I don't know. I don't know if we want skills. But I wrote down strength, agility, intelligence, charisma, and luck. These are the 5 basic skills that you see in D&D light games, which I like. Like, this is like Dark and Shadow Dark. Shadow Dark, I think, has like strength, agility, intelligence, charisma, luck, or something like perception, whatever. They have, D&D, there's way too many skills and stuff. I like it where there's like 5. You know what I mean? Because this is like, it covers everything, essentially. Because guess what? There has to be some sort of lucky mechanic in fishing. Because you do not go fishing and not have some sort of luck be involved. Don't get me wrong. Fishing is very much so. You need to work hard. You need to understand what you're doing in real life when you're fishing, especially when you do certain stuff. If you want to go fish with a bobber, that's one thing. But I'm talking about, I know guys that literally don't sleep and go out and fish on the beach at night in waders, catching striped bass. They sleep in their car for 2 hours in the parking lot of work, and then they work the entire day and do. I'm like, dude, these guys were older than me too. They were like 50 years old. I'm like, how are you doing this? You know what I mean? But some of these guys are super serious, and I've been there before too. I'm a pretty serious fisherman, but I just don't go that crazy anymore because of my back. But there, so this is what I'm saying. Like, there's some skill involved. That being said, everyone that fishes knows there's luck involved in fishing. So luck has to be part of it. Tackle, I went from lightest to heaviest. Child rod, like a little Spider-Man rod you get at Walmart. Ultralight, which is like panfish. Light tackle for like trout, or maybe like small bass. A medium rod you could use for like bass and flipping and stuff. Heavy rod you'd use for maybe throwing bait or something in saltwater. A surf rod, what do you call it? You could fish in the surf, throw giant plugs. A boat rod, you'd be fishing for sharks. Offshore rod, fishing for giant sharks and tuna. Big ass tuna, 500 pounds and up. And that's a serious freaking rod that you literally need to have in a gunnel of a boat. Otherwise, you might get ripped off the side of a boat. It's a serious fish. And then, last but not least, legendary. The Rod of Destiny. Made out of the Devil's Tooth from the Pick of Destiny. I don't know. Marlin fishing in real time. I'm having a whale of a time with these streams. See, I think of all the fishing puns you could do. 20% luck. Unless it's my dad's friend, then it's 100%. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm in the negative percent luck. Whenever people bring me out on their boats, we never catch anything, and then they text me the next day, oh my god, Mike, you should have been there. That's like my luck. So I'm in the negative luck as a fisherman. Yeah, for sure. You get there. You do it long enough. I've been fishing for 30 years. You start getting in the negatives. It's all right. We'll get up. Fly tackle, 3-4 weight. This is like a trout rod. 4-5 weight, bigger trout rod. 6-7 weight is like a largemouth bass, redfish, saltwater rod, or freshwater. 8-9 inshore saltwater fly fishing, bonefish, striped bass, all that. 10-11 weight, larger striped bass, fishing in inlets, maybe smaller tarpon. 12 to 13 weight is big ass tarpon. You're getting into smaller tuna and sharks. 14-15 weight is fishing for like big marlin, big tuna, mako sharks that are like 500 pounds. Last but not least, customary, the fly rod of destiny made out of the Devil's Tooth. I watched the Pick of Destiny on Thursday. That's why I keep mentioning it. It was such a good movie. On the rod, I was trying to figure out if let's say there is a fighting mechanic for fighting fish and you're fighting the mutated fish, you're trying to catch them as a fisherman, oppose rolls in succession. It's like melee combat in it's like melee combat in Turnip 28. You keep rolling until you either land the fish or the fish breaks off the line. In the beginning of the fight, the fish has a greater chance of breaking off the line. The longer the fish is on the line, the weaker the fish gets, and the greater chance of landing the fish. So it's like fighting in Konflikt 47 where you roll at the same time, or it's like fighting in Turnip, but it doesn't stop. You just keep rolling, so you could infinitely roll it, technically, and you could both die at the gaming table from starvation, which is really cool. I like that. It could just infinitely go on. Let's say you guys both keep rolling the opposed roll and nobody ever beats each other. It just goes on forever, and that's the rules. You can't stop. You have to keep going. That's how the game works. The rod of destiny is made out of the cane rod Jesus used to fish. There he goes. It was handed down or protected by a secret order of the Fly Templars. Oh, God. Now we're really getting deep, huh? Except it's not Jesus. It was Jesus. It's actually this dude that I used to go to school with. His parents are immigrants from Mexico. And they, what do you call it? He's just really good at fly fishing, Jesus. He kind of does look like Jesus a little bit, and I did see him once walk on water, but I can't confirm whether he's actually a part of the religion of Christianity. As far as I'm concerned, he's just the son of Mexican immigrants. Yep. I'm trying to think how I could not have religion in the game, or like actual we could have made up religion, but we're trying to keep everything separated. You know what I mean? We don't want to bring real Jesus into it. We'll have Jesus. And we'll have my buddy, one of my buddies from that I went to high school with. We'll base him off him. One of my best fishing friends throughout high school and through college, because I went to local college, or public, or what's it called, community college here, is my buddy. I'm not going to say his name because I'll call him Ed, even though his name's not Ed. It's longer than that. But and he is the son of two Mexican immigrants who came over, and what do you call it? He thank God I had him fishing with me, because there were so many times where we had like issues with people that didn't speak any English, and he was able to resolve them. You know what I mean? By speaking in Spanish to them. But me and Ed, dude, we fished everywhere, and I had a Coleman canoe. We used to go out on my canoe and just get blitzed on Dutch Masters and just fish till like 3 a.m. But we once both cursed out this dude who was poaching. He was taking undersized striped bass, and we both knew it because we both were fishing there all the time. And I'm like, dude, every time I talk to this guy, he acts like he doesn't speak English. You speak fluent Spanish. Let's go and talk. Let's go confront this dude and tell him that we're going to call the DEC if he doesn't put the fish back, or if he doesn't get the hell out of here. So we went there, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, dude, I see you here all the time. You got to put that fish back. I made the motion like, you got to put that fish back. It's too small. You can't keep that. That's like 10 inches too short. You got to put it back. And he gives me some kind of shtick like he doesn't speak English. So I'm like, yo, Ed. And I get him over here, and he starts railing into this dude. I don't know what he's saying. He's speaking Spanish to him. I don't speak fluent Spanish. I only know a little bit. But he was telling him, he's like, listen, motherfucker, we know what you're doing. We see you every day poaching striped bass. What he does, he catches a small striped bass, or he catches a legal one. He puts it in his car, and he leaves. You're only allowed one fish a day. That guy comes back. He catches another fish, leaves. He comes back, catches another fish, leaves. So what he's doing is he's catching more than he's allowed to. And because you're only allowed one a day. So he's like he's 100% committing an illegal crime, like an illegal act. But he's acting like he's like, oh, no, I wasn't here today. You know what I mean? This is what he would tell the DEC officers. So we started like recording him and getting his license plate too. Because I had numbers from the DEC officers, which are the Department of Environmental Conservation. Because look, dude, we are recreational fishermen. We spend every waking moment trying to catch these fish. You get assholes that come out here, and I'm not saying this guy, I don't even know if this guy probably spoke fluent English too. It doesn't matter who he was or where he's from. You can have any sort of person in the world that will poach. It doesn't matter. It's not like anything like that. But like me and my buddy, you know, Edgar, we were going fishing, and it's like, as somebody who cares about fishing and conservation, seeing people just abuse and just constantly take small fish and this and that and do things that are destroying the fishing. And now, you know, it's funny, we're getting to the point to now this fishing industry that I'm talking about, striped bass, they're in really dire straits. They're not in good shape right now. They've been overfished for the past 10 years. And that's where we're at, you know? So this is like, you see stuff like that. So me and my buddy Edgar, we were very passionate about it. So he told this dude, the guy put the fish back. We never saw the guy again, luckily. But we told him we'd been watching him, we'd been filming him, we got his license plate, and we were going to call the DEC officer because he took 3 fish that day. We never saw the guy again. So, but shout out to my buddy Edgar, because I never was able to intimidate the guy into... Because if you call the DEC, they're not going to do anything. He only has 1 fish. Like, they would need to have to set up a sting operation. You know what I mean? So, But yeah, so luckily my buddy Edgar was able to just get the point across. Like, listen, dude, we know what you're doing. You're being an asshole. Just stop it, okay? Because like I said, my buddy Edgar, his parents came here from Mexico, and we fished together. He's gonna have kids one day. I'm gonna have kids one day, and they're gonna want to go fishing. We want to be able to keep fishing. So, what do you call it? Luckily, most everybody that's out there follows the law and does everything right. Doesn't matter whether they speak English or not. I see most people out there, they know what they're doing. Most people are educated. But there are people that know what they're doing and they're bad actors. Like, they're specifically, they know the, it's not like they don't know the law. There are some people that don't know the law, and if that's the case, then, you know, the DEC will handle it accordingly. But there are people that know the law and are poaching fish, specifically. And it doesn't matter whether they're Americans that were born and raised here, people came from wherever. I want to be very clear about that, especially here with our fishery. I've seen a lot of dudes that have been fishing for 40 years, born and raised here, that I had to call the DEC on because I saw them burying. They had like 3 fish. They had one in their truck. You know, they're cutting fish. They're throwing the carcasses back. You're supposed to keep the carcass to prove that you don't have multiple fish. What they'll do is they'll kill multiple fish, fillet them, put them in their cooler, and then say like, oh, I got this all from one fish, because it's like kind of hard to figure out. A DEC officer, if they went in and they looked at the fillets, they could figure that out in a second. That's more than 2 fish or 1 fish. But that's how they can get around it, or they think they can get away with it. So you'll see people doing this, and we're talking about people with like $300,000 boats are doing this and stuff like that. So I just want to be very clear about that. So that's something that really ruffles my feathers as somebody that ties flies for a living, that fishes for, you know, maybe one day will be a guide, works with guides. My entire life is based on the fishing industry around here and on a healthy fishery. So anyways, that being said, that leads us to the next mechanic, the game warden. Players need fishing licenses. This is something I just came up with. It's part of their army costs, because I think the idea is you have a fisherman, you can equip him, and you can get a boat, all that cost stuff. You get a certain amount of points to build your army list. You do need a fishing license, but it's pricey. If you don't pay, you can choose not to pay for it and get that to put in your army. But what that does is, if you do not have a fishing license, now you're opening the mechanic of the game warden, where at some point at the start of every round, the game warden can show up on the map. And he's looking for people and to see if they have fishing licenses. And the chance of the game warden showing up gets much, much more, it's a much more likely thing later on in the game. And he is just ridiculously strong and can kill the fisherman or arrest him and essentially ruin, like, you lose. And he can potentially be controlled by the fish player, is what I was thinking. But I think that's really cool. That's kind of my idea. Fly Jesus can turn water into Modelos. Hey, Modelo man, dude. Have you guys seen the Modelo Space Marine, dude? That guy is sick. I always ask the Maori gods. Did I pronounce that right? Maori? The Maori god of the sea. Tangaroa? Tangaroa, maybe? Garoa? For luck and blessing? Hell yeah. The people are taking everything New Zealand. I've seen, yeah, they're starting to crack down a lot on people just walking on beaches and taking stuff. It's kind of a big deal in California with all of the puddles and ponds. You know, they have these little ecosystems with amoeba and little fish and crabs and eels, where like at low tide you get these little tidal pools, and they're their own like little ecosystems. I'm sure you've seen it on like National Geographic. There's a big issue with just everyday people going there and for like social media, like going down to these tidal ponds in California and like messing with all the wildlife and like taking stuff and like trying to take pets, or just like completely just violating all of these tidal pools and like disturbing all of the marine life in there. So I think hopefully they do something, crack down on that, because it's like, dude, you start going in there and like ripping things that are growing from the rocks off and like messing with stuff, like you know, you're gonna start fucking shit up, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of people moving and like lifting rocks, like hundreds of people down, like, you know, it's one thing if one person's doing it, but when you get giant groups, and becomes this thing. It's like you can quickly start really messing with the ecosystem and stuff. So you should always put a rock back where it was too. You never like pick up a rock and move it. You never stack rocks in rivers. The people stacking rocks in rivers cause serious damage to trout and their spawning habitat and different fish spawning. So it's actually, I believe it's kind of, I think it's like against the law to like do that rock stacking stuff in certain rivers, protected rivers, because it causes serious damage to and erosion to the river as well. So anyways, that's the fishing game. That's what I have figured out. I think I'm leaning towards keeping it simple. I don't know about half these mechanics. And I'm kind of leaning towards, I think the easiest way of doing it would be man versus fish. One person plays a mutated fishing army. The other person plays the fisherman army. The objective, there could be different objectives, but the base objective of the game, the simplest one, is the fishermen go out, try and catch fish. The fish have to try and stop them. They're protecting their young, essentially. And in that, there's combat. You know what I mean? And there could be some simple, light mechanics when it comes to trying to land fish with a rod and reel, I think, the objectives. Other than that, there'll be different areas or different locations that you can fish. And there'll be probably some sort of terrain bonuses and current bonuses or negatives for the fishermen or bonuses for the fish. So, and there'll be fish armies or fish factions and fisherman factions. There'll be crabapults, thanks to Jenny, which I love. And yeah, I do like the idea of there's going to be definitely like boat mechanics or boat stats. And maybe I almost kind of like the idea of the mutated fish army having some sort of watercraft, but underwater craft. Maybe they have like little fish submarines they've made. I don't know. Who knows? The fish have technology we don't even know. There's been atomic bombs went off. Then the ice caps melted. Maybe there's some weird alien crap they found. That's actually we could go like, what's it called? The Thing with Kurt Russell is with underneath the ice. There's an alien spaceship. What happens when all the ice melts and all those alien spaceships kind of get loose? And the mutated fish that grow arms and brains from atomic radiation, all of a sudden find that alien technology. And now they have like these organic submarines they're riding around in, like little air bubble boats. You got to incorporate the Let's Go Fishing board game. Is that something I should look into for inspiration? The Let's Go Fishing board game? Okay. Oh, the thing is amazing. Yeah, fish tank boats. Fish tank boats. They're riding fish tanks out of the water. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's fantastic. I also like the idea of organic, like, bubble submarines or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Something like you know what I mean? That could be cool. That could be cool. All right, so the Let's Go Fishing video game. Okay. I'll take a look, Rev. Or not video game. Let's Go Fishing board game. Do you have it? Could I borrow it to take a look at it or something? Or I could probably just take a look online. Oh, also, chat, I wanted to say... I wrote some other stuff down. Also, I wanted to say, I'm going to order Gaslands. So, I'm going to order it. And I'm probably going to order some, like, Matchbox cars or something. Or maybe, you know what? Dude. This could actually be really cool. What we should do, Rev, we should go together, we should go to the town that's north of us and go to, like, Walmart or something and try and find Matchbox cars, and, like, we'll make a little video out of it. Or that it could be, like, a fun video where we go and you don't have to, like, kit bash your thing on camera, but we can make a video where we're, like, we go there, and, like, I'll film a little bit or something, and we're, like, looking at the Matchbox cars. I'm taking this one, and then I'm going to, like, kit bash it. I'll make a little video out of it. That could be cool, and, like, get people ready for the idea of Gaslands on the channel. So you did when I was okay. I'll take a look then. I'll like Google it and do some research about the board game. But yeah, Gaslands I wanted to mention. So I'm gonna order that. I got to get spray paint. I'm gonna get the terrain ready for the orb, the plasma ball, and I need to paint up the fireflies that we kit bashed. And at some point here, we are gonna premiere Festoon Europa. I don't think we're doing it tomorrow. Now you could feel free to play your your Totencore army if you want, but I don't have a Firefly army ready. At least I wanna. I guess I technically could, but I want to use the other Firefly squads that I put together for the flamethrowers or whatever, so I can at least get some more to make it an official Firefly thing. But when we premiere our Totencore, we're gonna, or for our 1,000 subscribers, I promised that we were gonna do like a giant game. I want to do a massive game, 3,000 points versus 3,000 points, or 2,000, like 2,500 versus 2,500. Have a giant lightning bolt terrain on the battlefield, shocking like. So, oh, you're still working on them? Okay, good. So that's going to be like when you get those done and I get my Firefly done, I get all the terrain done, we're going to do our Apocalypse Konflikt 47 game battle report. As many models as we can get in our deployment zone, and we're just going to let her rip, and my back is going to kill me at the end of the day, but guess what? It's going to be sick. It's probably going to be like an hour and a half long battle report edited, or like an hour long, hour and 10 minutes long, which is long for me because I edit them down really, I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to take forever, but it's going to be sick. I'm excited for it. We probably won't film a lot of the lesser stuff, kind of like how Play on Tabletop does their Apocalypse games where they have the giant tables full of minis. We'll do something like it as best we can. We'll do as most of an entertaining battle report as we can, so I'm excited for it. But thank you again, all you folks that have subscribed to the channel here and been watching and all that and supporting the channel. It means a lot, so I'm excited. Now we're finally ready to get back into video mode because I have tied like 400 or 500 flies in like a month and a half or something, and I pretty much have been in like robot mode, barely sleeping, staying up late at night, and working my ass off. So I'm glad I finally got all that done. I'm still going to be tying and stuff, but that was like, I wasn't able to work on YouTube videos that much. I haven't made a fly tying video for my other channel in like a month, but they knew. I told them, listen, dude, I got to make this money while I can. So it's not that I don't get this chance. It's only once a year I get this chance. So, but now I'm finally ready to put my heart back into freaking working on YouTube videos for 5 days out of the week, as I usually do. So, and put my time in there. But anyways, chat, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm glad we got a nice little discussion. Look, if you guys have any ideas, you can feel free to join our Discord, or you could always leave comments on the video if you end up watching this and you don't end up watching it live. If you guys have ideas for this fishing game, tackling the apocalypse, but this is something that I want to work on with the community, and develop it in real time with you guys, and we could even play test it and stuff together on stream, and things like that, because we've done games where we played each other. I think this could be like, I'm thinking this doesn't necessarily need to be a thing where you need a big battle mat either. It could be like a 3x3 or like even smaller. Who says you can't even do it on like a, maybe something else, whatever. So this is fun though. I think this is something I want to work on. This is kind of like I'm really excited about it, and I don't think there's anything like it. So I think it'd be fun for us as a community to kind of do together too. So, or just just like kind of try and figure something out cool. So, but that being said, I've been working on it in my spare time, and I will continue to do so. But I'm definitely gonna get you guys feedback as I do it. So, but chat, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you folks have a awesome weekend. If you guys are getting any games in of Konflikt or Bolt Action or whatever you're playing, good luck with that, and hopefully you have some good games. I know 11th edition is coming out, dude, pretty soon, so not that I necessarily have any desire to play any Warhammer, but I know I'm sure some folks are probably getting hyped up about that. Don't worry, we're not a Warhammer channel. People have made that very clear. Maybe we'll do like, what's it called, the boarding actions. I really like boarding actions if we ever do anything, but we're focusing on games that don't get as much love, that deserve the love. things like Conflikt, Bolt Action, Turnip 28, one-page rules, and Gaslands. Also, I wanted to say real quick before we leave, one-page rules is like officially coming out with their own miniatures. They have like their plastic. They're like releasing the game. They're like, I've seen a lot of momentum behind one-page rules, and I've been saying I need to make a game. So I would love to start getting one-page rules regularly back into the channel. And that's where it really started with us here on this channel, and my love of miniature war games is one-page rules. If it wasn't for one-page rules, I would have never gotten to Warhammer or Conflikt. So I see a lot of love for one-page rules recently, and we're gonna make sure that we contribute to it because they deserve it more so than a lot of folks. So they're the absolute example of what you want to be as a miniature wargaming creator in this space, is allowing people to make miniatures for your game, have collaboration with all these amazing creators and other miniature games and this and that. Like, dude, everything they do is just, I love it. Shout out to One Page Rules. They're the best. So I really do love, they're sick. Anyways, chat, we'll see you guys. I hope you guys have an awesome night, and thank you so much again for the gifted membership. Squid Herder Sean, Rev, Crazy Dude, and Tiki with the gift membership as well. You folks have an awesome time, and I am going to hang out, and I got to record some voiceovers. So I'm going to go do that, but we'll take it easy.